In May, the Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe announced plans to legalize marijuana on their reservation. The tribe's executive committee made it official in June. And since then, the tribe has been on a fast track to build a marijuana lounge, saying anyone 21 and over will be able to buy and use whether they are a tribal member or not. A change in federal law opened the door for the tribe to do this. But state law says marijuana is still very much an illegal substance, and those who enforce those laws say a very big problem is headed our way. If all continues according to plan, on New Year's Eve, the Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe will open a marijuana lounge to anyone over the age of 21 who wants to smoke. The tribe says they're doing this in the name of economic development. While they see dollar signs, others see warning signs.
My job as Attorney General is to enforce the laws of this state.
South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley tells me he has had several meetings with Flandreau Santee Sioux tribal leaders about their pot plan. He calls those meetings productive, but in the next breath he says he sees the potential for real problems.
Part of the complexity of tribal relations is due to Congress as well as recent Department of Justice memorandums regarding marijuana use in Indian country.
This is that DOJ memorandum issued 1 year ago. It opens the door for Native American tribes to legalize marijuana on reservation land through their status as a sovereign nation. But this is where it gets real tricky. Tribal members can possess and use marijuana, but only on tribal land. The moment they step off the reservation, they are in violation of South Dakota state law. For non-Indians, it's illegal to possess and use no matter where they are. But the tribe says they'll be ready for customers, no matter who they are or where they come from.
At this point, we sell a small quantity of tribally grown marijuana to be consumed on site. Right now, we've limited that to 1 gram per person, which is the equivalent of about 1 joint.
The tribe also says they'll sell to anyone 18 and older with a medical marijuana license, and that minors will be allowed to smoke pot with the consent of an adult and a doctor. All these conditions, Jackley says, points to possible trouble.
We're putting non-Indians and Indian persons in harm's way of prosecution.
The tribe says selling pot could earn them upwards of $2 million a month. But 5 hours west of Flandreau, along Highway 212 and across the Missouri River, we found a strong opponent to this plan, a man in a similar situation who could also use that much money, but is saying no thanks.
You know, sometimes money can't buy happiness, and you know, with a lot of the problems that are going on that are affecting the families, I mean, with drugs, I mean, I know it's breaking a lot of our families apart.
Harold Frazier is the chairman of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, an area where poverty is everywhere. So are drugs. There is a growing problem here with meth and heroin. Frazier says at a time when alcohol and drug use are plaguing South Dakota tribal lands, he doesn't understand why the Flandreau Santee Sioux are making this move.
So these are big concerns for not only myself, but for our tribal council as well.
The Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation covers 1.4 million acres. The tribe has 8,000 enrolled members. In Flandreau, there are a little more than 700 tribal members, and their tribal land encompasses a little more than 2,300 acres. A sliver of land where marijuana will be legal, surrounded by state land where it is not.
It's not an economic development. It's a train wreck waiting to happen. And unfortunately, it's going to happen 8 blocks from my office.
This is Moody County Sheriff Troy Wellman. Flandreau is the county seat.
I do see it as a mess waiting to happen.
Wellman is literally in the middle of all this, having to balance what the federal government says is legal and what state law says is illegal. This is complex. He admits he's not a lawyer, but predicts a lot of them will eventually be involved. In the meantime, he says he is ready to enforce South Dakota state law to the extent he can. This is what he has told his deputies.
If you have probable cause to make an arrest, I'm expecting everybody to make an arrest. And I don't care if I have to hire the local bus company to start busing people around to jails.
I asked Wellman if he is planning to conduct sobriety checkpoints to find people who have smoked pot on the reservation. He answered that this way.
We had to have a bus load of prisoners by the time it's all said and done. Easy.
Wellman believes the federal government didn't think through the problems this decision would make. More arrests, more court costs, more costs to house and transport prisoners. While the tribe is doing this to make more money, Wellman says this is going to cost Moody County and the state of South Dakota more money.
It's a catastrophic snowball. Everywhere you turn, the snowball gets bigger and more costly.
The Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe says they are on track to open their marijuana lounge on December 31st. It is a day they say they're waiting for. But Sheriff Wellman says it is a day he hopes doesn't come.
I don't want to be here for New Year's Eve because that's the night that it's supposed to kick off. It's going to be a nightmare.
So what does the Flandreau Santee Sioux Tribe say about all this? On October 16th, the tribe had invited reporters and state lawmakers to tour their marijuana growing facility to show off what they are doing. We wanted to find out how they plan on balancing the legal problems associated with all this. 3 days after that tour, I contacted the tribe's attorney, Seth Perriman, asking for an interview. He declined, saying the tribe is scaling back its media comments.